When you went for it originally, Triple H, then going on for it on Stone Cold Steve Austin, and them throwing you out, that spot was so brilliant. How'd you come up with that?
Well, all I knew was I was going to go in and get thrown out. That's all I was told. I was like, okay. And now I knew Triple H came out before me, and this is his big return.
Yeah.
So you got to think, like, here's where the performer in me thinks, like, okay, he's going to get this monster pop. So whoever comes after a surprise, sometimes that pop is comparatively is going to look diminished because of who goes before, you know? And I'm like, man, I got to follow this monster pop. You're going to have Triple H and Steve Austin, two of the biggest stars in the game, going at it. And here's my little green ass coming out there. So I was just trying to figure something out. So I came up with the idea. It was, 100% my idea. But I'm so new to this company. I don't know how to pitch this. How do I go to these two megastars and go, hey, I got an idea. I grab both y'all up by the neck, and I'm going to be running this thing for a hot second. You know, I just didn't want to come across as, big-headed or anything. So what happened was I knew Kurt Angle a little bit more than anybody else, any of the WWF regulars at the time, outside of Matt and Jeff, of course. And I just went to Kurt, and I was just hoping that somehow if I explained the idea to him that he would help me go pitch it. He loved the idea, and he goes, go run it by Steve. And I'm like, dang. So, okay. So I go to Steve, and I pitch the idea. He goes, oh, I love it. Go run it by Pat Patterson. And I go, oh. So I have to go run it to Pat. Pat goes, oh, I love it. Go run it by Hunter. So I had to pitch it 4 times. Each time just like such a nerve-wracking thing, but they were all just so gracious and like, yeah, I love it, and understood the entertainment, what I was going for with the spot, making the most out of that moment. And I mean, to this day, when somebody brings that up, I'll ask them who won. And most of the time, they can't even tell me who won.
Yes.
And to me, that's a perfect example of what making a moment means. Like, I made you remember that, and you don't remember who won, and then went on the main event WrestleMania that year. So, of the two, I would have rather been the one that won and went on the main event WrestleMania. Yeah. But as it stood, that's a perfect example of making a